We have current events. Welcome to the foundation. Wyamo locks doors and drives teens to jail. Hormuz is closed again, y'all, and dead bodies are the new beauty secret. This is current events for July 13th, 2026. I am Sot L, seeker of Truth L, speaker of Truth L. And I appreciate y'all checking this out. I trust you had a great, luxurious weekend. Make sure you check out welcome to thefoundation.com. Sign up for the email list. We would love if you did. Don't fall. Okay, cool. It didn't fall. Yeah, we got the email list popping. We got people signing up, but there's more people that can be signing up. Ad blocker. We're going to check out silver. Yes, we do run an ad blocker. Gold was, man, it was just under 4,000. I just saw it. Silver, $57.61. That's what's happening. Definitely under the 200. Moving average is looking really weird. Doesn't look like there's too much volume, but lower price is better for you and me because we dollar cost average. $25, $50, $100 every 2 weeks, every 30 days. We go buy, quote, whatever amount of silver that we can. That's what we do here. Shanghai silver price today, silver spot price $63.98. That's US. Western spot price $57.66. Yep, still an arbitrage. Iran declares Strait of Hormuz closed as unauthorized vessel hit. This was days ago. This, if you didn't know, Iran said it closed the Strait of Hormuz after a vessel traveled on an unapproved route and was struck, warning that any retaliation over the incident will be met with, quote, severe response, end quote. Quote, a vessel that had jeopardized maritime security by switching off its systems was struck and brought to a halt, end quote. This is the Navy of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. I never understood. Corps said in a statement, without giving any details about the ship. The strait, the IRGC said, was closed until further notice until, quote, the end of U.S. interference in this region. Meanwhile, oil up 9% to 1 month high as U.S. says it will blockade the entire Iranian coastline. All of its vessels. Get up out of here. Oil prices settled up more than 9%. 9%. At a 1 month high after news that the United States naval blockade due to begin tomorrow will cover Iran's entire coastline, ports, and oil terminals, as well as all vessels regardless of flag, reigniting concerns over energy shipments through the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. is set to reinstate the naval blockade on July 14th. This is according to the U.S. Navy-led Joint Maritime Information Center. The blockade had been lifted in mid-June. Earlier in the day, President Donald Trump said the United States was reinstating a naval blockade and would be reimbursed 20% on all cargo shipped through the Strait of Hormuz following renewed military exchanges with Iran. So it's like a 20% charge. Quote, President Trump's reinstatement of restrictions on Iranian maritime traffic alongside retaliatory attacks and sharply reduced vessel flows through the strait has intensified concerns over the near-term supply availability, end quote. This is Gelber and Associates. They wrote it in a note. Probably typed it. Who writes down anymore? These days, Iran's top joint military command had earlier said it would not allow Washington to intervene in the management of the strait, and any attempt by the U.S. to transit without its authorization would be met with force. I added that. Would be confronted. The UN's shipping agency against Trump's proposal, saying It opposes any fees for straits used in international navigation and stressing that there's no legal basis for introducing mandatory tolls on strait transits. Before the conflict began in late February, the Strait of Hormuz handled about 1/5 of global daily oil and liquefied natural gas supplies. Traffic had begun to increase during a fragile ceasefire agreed to in June, but had slowed as tensions rose. Serious. Quote, the focus will remain on a number of inbound tankers as a lower number could impact production. So currently we see a risk premium and a disruption risk supporting prices, end quote. Let's move forward. Volkswagen. Excuse me. Wow. Allergic Volkswagen CEO flags 50,000 extra job cuts to staff as costs squeeze. Manufacturing apocalypse continues as the retail apocalypse kind of winds down. Volkswagen may need to cut about 50,000 extra jobs to keep up with rivals. In an increasingly fierce car market, its CEO told staff in an internal memo, effectively confirming for the first time that the automaker is looking to reduce up to 100,000 positions. CEO Oliver Bloom is battling a streamline Europe's biggest car maker. To streamline Europe's biggest car maker, whose profits have slumped as it faces billions of euros in tariff costs, stiff competition in China, and pressure on its German manufacturing network to become more efficient. After already agreeing 50,000 job cuts across the group, including its Porsche and Audi subsidiaries, the company must work on reducing costs further, having calculated a cost disadvantage versus comparable companies of 20%. Bloom said in the memo seen by Reuters. This means a theoretical deduction of another 50,000 jobs worldwide, the memo said. Quote, we are currently assessing across all brands, companies, and regions how many adjustments are actually necessary and feasible, end quote, Bloom said in the document. This little chart. You can see the shares at 16 years lows. Here's a chart. I like how they put it in, these little scandals. Here's the Dieselgate scandal. From what I remember, they had some technology that allowed for significantly less emissions, but it only worked if they had it on a dyno. As soon as you started using the car would detect when it was on a dyno and would engage the system, but then it turned it off during normal driving. Then you got the panorama here. That's some bad stuff. That hurt a lot of people and a lot of companies. Then you got the war in Ukraine, tariffs, all this stuff. It's just going. It's making everything worse for these guys. I don't know. Michigan cases of intestinal disease from parasites soar to over 2,600. Did you guys hear about this? Michigan health officials today reported 2,640 cases linked to an outbreak of cyclosporiasis. I tried, y'all. An intestinal infection from Cyclospora parasite that often occurs through contaminated food or water, an increase of more than 1,000 cases since its last update Friday, 3 days ago. Something's going on in Michigan. The outbreak has resulted in 44 hospitalizations, according to the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services' latest update. No deaths have been reported. That's good. The infection, which has spread rapidly in Michigan since it began in May, has been detected in dozens of states, remains under investigation. Michigan health officials said current evidence points to lettuce or other salad greens as a potential source of the outbreak, although investigators have not completely ruled out other food items. They added that no specific type of produce, grower, or supplier has been linked to the outbreak. They don't even know what's going on. They don't even understand what's happening. Past outbreaks have occurred with fresh food, including bagged salad mixes and some herbs. Cyclosporiasis. Infections, I think I did the first time, I think was almost right on. Typically increased during the spring and summer months, with the season running from May through August. The CDC said on its website dated July 9th that 843 people across 31 states had contracted the parasite, and 86 of them had been hospitalized. At the time, the agency said more than 1,500 additional cases required further analysis and confirmation. The CDC did not respond to a request to comment on the report. Michigan did not respond to a request to comment on whether all cases had been verified through testing. The symptoms usually manifest within several days of eating the contaminated food and include diarrhea, stomach cramps, nausea, and fatigue. If not treated, the illness may last from a few days to a month or longer. It may recur after symptoms initially subside. Man, be on the lookout, y'all. Watch what you're eating. U.S. Appeals Court revives hundreds of private lawsuits linking Tylenol to autism. Y'all hear about this? It was wild. A federal appeals court today revived more than 500 private lawsuits against Tylenol maker Kenvue over the painkiller's alleged link to autism. The Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Manhattan said a district court judge improperly excluded expert testimony from 3 doctors offered by parents and guardians who tied Tylenol use during pregnancy to autism and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder in children. I wonder when my mother took Tylenol when there's no firm scientific evidence of such a link. The issue drew greater attention after President Donald Trump and top U.S. health officials in September suggested a link to autism in a 64-page decision for a 3-judge panel. Circuit Judge Guido Calabresi. Guido Calabresi said the testimony, I be trying, y'all. I respect all names, languages, cultures. I sincerely be making effort. Okay, so said the testimony from the 3 doctors, including the dean of Harvard University School of Public Health, man. That's a significant testimony. Reflected methodologies used by other scientists and, quote, constitute acceptable interpretations of scientific evidence where scientists may and, in fact, do disagree, end quote. Calabresi stressed that the appeals court was not deciding whether using acetaminophen causes autism or ADHD or whether elected officials should do more to protect public health. Doctors and medical societies consider acetaminophen, the active ingredient in Tylenol, the preferred means to treat pain and fever during pregnancy. What is it? Acetaminophen, NSAIDs? I don't know. There's a thing going on a few years ago. I got lost in it. Argentina court recognizes 2 goldfish as sentient beings with rights. Hey, I agree that they're sentient beings. On the facade of a sushi restaurant in a chic Buenos Aires neighborhood, 2 goldfish in a glass display case would go largely unnoticed apart from the occasional child who would tap against the glass. One day, someone took a closer look at the tank, which was exposed to the sun and street noise. It would change the fate of the pair of small fish named Fede and, man, come on. Fede and Magui. Okay, that didn't sound right. Who were later recognized in an Argentine court as sentient beings that had rights. Quote, anyone passing by and stopping to look could see it was not suitable for the fish. End quote. This is Matthias Trufero, lawyer for the NGO Yalos Vocias, an anti-speciesism sanctuary that houses more than 200 rescued animals. Y'all see, I don't pre-read any of this stuff. You learn what I learned at the same time. He said that's why Yalos Vocias, empty cages, okay, I'm just going to say empty cages, decided to file a complaint with the courts arguing that the conditions of these fish violated law 14.346, which penalizes animal abuse in Argentina. With the help of specialists, they built a legal case and almost immediately convinced the court to move the fish to a more suitable place. Farrell, the main promoter of this chain, said the restaurant staff did not object to the ruling. CNN has contacted the restaurant for comment. Having 2 fish in a glass display case is, quote, more or less the same as putting 2 polar bears in a cage inside a sauna, end quote. Okay. I like it. I also like that the restaurant, they didn't object. Restaurant staff did not object to the ruling. I wonder if they would have just asked them to move it. But maybe they would say, get yourself some business. Get a life or something. I don't know. These are our fish. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. It's interesting that this went all the way to court with all the abuses that happen to humans and animals. That is a good, I don't know, that's a good story as far as I'm concerned. Big tech data centers are driving up power bills at America's Rust Belt factories. For years, electricity costs for Belden Brick Company in Sugar Creek, Ohio has been relatively stable. Last year, they surged 90%, largely because of rising power demand from data centers in the region. And that's why I don't understand. Why don't they just charge the data centers extra? I mean, it's obvious that these new things are what's called. I just don't understand how arbitrarily you have to split the cost of these new data centers that are raising all these costs evenly amongst all these customers versus, making these data centers. What do I know though, man? Maybe the whole world will go out of business if that happens. I mean, who knows, man? Economists, man, they bring stuff up. The 141-year-old brick manufacturer, whose products can be found in iconic buildings, including the Texas Alamo and Notre Dame, is seeing power bills rise mainly from a monthly capacity charge, which recently jumped from $1,600 a month to $12,000 a month. Man, $1,600 to $12,000? Woo-wee! Belden Brick is among many manufacturers across America's heartland where costs are rising as power-hungry data centers serving the artificial intelligence industry proliferate. Factory electricity bills, a core expense, are rising faster than for many homes and other businesses, according to a Reuters review of U.S. energy data and interviews with nearly a dozen manufacturers and industry advocates. Federal, state, and local governments responding to consumer anger and grid stability concerns are pushing big tech to pay more for their expected demand. But some of their proposals lump in smaller factories with tech giants such as Meta and Amazon, whose power needs can dwarf even large manufacturers by a factor of 50. Meta declined to comment, of course. Amazon did not respond to the comment, of course. Capacity charges are designed to compensate power generators for ensuring the grid has enough electricity for peak usage and to spur development of new supply. They generally account for about 10% of residential bills, but can represent up to 3 times that for manufacturers. This is according to interviews with manufacturers, attorneys, and energy experts. Such fees have soared in the 13-state region covered by grid operator PJM interconnection due to stagnant supply and demand from data centers, where one server warehouse can use as much electricity as a mid-sized town. Quote, the capacity charge just jumped off the page, end quote. This is company president Brad Belden, part of the 5th generation working at the company. Despite such capacity charge hikes, PJM was forced to take emergency steps last week, including asking some users to curb electricity use to prevent rolling blackouts as searing temperatures pushed peak demand to a new record. This what is it? The Mad Max scenario, also the Blade Runner scenario, and I was wondering, where'd all the water go? Now we know where all the water is going to go. But that's science fiction. I'm crazy. Don't listen to me. There are going to be some companies that are on the razor's edge. Belden has raised brick prices 4% and profits have still shrunk. If bills keep rising, he said, local manufacturers may quickly reach limits on cost cutting or price hiking. The White House said in a statement that Trump has taken action to cushion the blow on manufacturers, not to parry the blow, but just to cushion it. Hey, you're still gonna get hit, but I can cushion it. Imagine me telling you that. We're friends and stuff, and this guy's trying to, fight you or whatever. I'm like, hey, man, I can't help you. I can guarantee that you're going to get hit. But what I can do is cushion the blow. So every time he tries to hit you, I'll just kind of throw a cushion in there. It sounds ridiculous because it is. It absolutely is. Citing his hosting of tech companies signing a, quote, ratepayer protection pledge, end quote, earlier this year, and directives to build more power plants in PJM paid for by tech companies. Data center advocates say the industry's rapid expansion is driving long overdue investments in America's electric grid and cite other factors driving up costs, including power plant retirements and transmission constraints. Why would you retire a power plant right now? I don't understand. Let's move forward. China's DeepSeek is developing its own AI chip. I'm fumble mouth today. I'm sorry. Chinese startup DeepSeek is developing its own AI chip, according to 3 people familiar with the matter, a push that could reduce its reliance on NVIDIA and Huawei chips, which it has depended on to train and run its globally popular models. The chip is designed for inference, the stage of AI computing in which a trained model generates responses for users, rather than for training new models. If successful, DeepSeek's expansion into semiconductor development would mark a major strategic shift for a company widely hailed in China as the country's AI champion, potentially adding to challenges faced by Chinese tech giant Huawei. Quote, NVIDIA is at zero in China and staying there. DeepSeek has almost no chance of selling silicon outside of China unless it gets access to leading edge manufacturing, end quote. This is Richard Windsor of Radio Free Mobile, who's an analyst, who added that development does not affect the chip maker. DeepSeek rose to global fame more than a year ago after realizing 2 highly efficient AI models that went viral worldwide, surprising many in Silicon Valley and Washington. The company has long been known for emphasizing, you like that one? Emphasizing AI model breakthroughs rather than commercializing its technology. That's a big deal. It's better for competition, of course, but if there's embargoes and tariffs and all these things that defeat the competitive price nature, then what does it matter? The bottom line is this is the AI race. And it's no longer a race where everybody's playing nice together and they're sharing and stuff. Nope. Everyone is guarding their secrets, their technologies. They're bringing all manufacturing within their territorial and governmental jurisdictions. And here we go. Here we go, y'all. Waymo. This is what y'all wanted, right? Waymo reports teen riders for bad behavior and delivers them to the police. Robo-taxis could be turning into robo-cops. A self-driving Waymo reported 2 teens to San Mateo, California police on Monday after they were found drinking alcohol and shooting toy guns in the back of the vehicle. Shooting toy guns. According to a social media post from the San Mateo Police Department, officers detained 2 15-year-olds after the Waymo they were riding in contacted the department and stopped in a parking lot until law enforcement arrived. They locked the doors. Quote, parents, do you know where your teens are? End quote. The San Mateo Police Department wrote on Facebook following the incident. Quote, Waymo does, end quote. Officers removed both teens from the vehicle and determined they were using toy guns to shoot Orbeez out the windows. Orbeez are small water-absorbing beads sold at toy stores. Quote, toy guns, water guns, and BB guns all pose real dangers, especially to an untrained eye. The simple handling of them can cause fear in passerbys, end quote. A video posted on Facebook shows at least 5 officers and a police dog responding to the scene and approaching the Waymo with their weapons raised at 15-year-olds. Waymo did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Waymo vehicles have internal cameras and microphones that may be used in an emergency or, quote, to promote safety and security, end quote, according to Waymo's online support page. The cameras are also used to ensure the vehicles are clean and to help find lost items, according to the support page. Oh, okay. The company said it does not use facial recognition or other biometric identification technologies to identify individuals. Quote, in more urgent circumstances, support may access live video during a trip, end quote. The Wyamo page said the San Mateo Police Department's Facebook post has garnered nearly 60 comments, with one user accusing Wyamo of, quote, snitching, end quote. Quote, at least they got a designated driver, end quote, one user commented. Personally, no, absolutely not. You know, as a parent, right? If one of my children were in a taxi or a ride share or whatever, and they were drinking illegally, right, because they're underage or whatnot, and shooting toy guns, the punishment for that, I would never, ever, ever consent to them being surrounded by 5 armed policemen with a police dog with their guns raised at them. I would never consent to that. I think this is really, really bad. I think this shows what could happen, what's going to happen with this autonomous AI, chat GPT, flock camera, all of this stuff. I just think we're going to a really, really bad place, and I think we're watching it. Speaking of bad place, and let's get out of here. GLP-1s are shrinking bodies. Cadaver fat is plugging the gap. What? And this is on CNN, man. Sandra, there's an asterisk, I'm sure that's not her name, a 43-year-old media lawyer based in Los Angeles, had been toying with the idea of breast augmentation since her 20s, but was always put off by the pain of the procedure, the long recovery time, and the idea of having, quote, this kind of foreign sac in your body, end quote. So when Sandra, who wanted to protect her identity for privacy reasons, of course, Sandra, heard about a new injectable body contouring product last summer, she was intrigued. No synthetic fillers, no implanted sacs, no downtime. Perfect. Quote, you hit a certain age and you decide, I'm going to do something for myself at this point, end quote. I don't know if it's this though, lady. Maybe it's to, start drinking more water. The product she found, aloe clay, pronounced aloe clay or aloe clay, I don't know, like the earthy sculpting material is quick to administer. Nicknamed the lunchtime boob job, it often takes less than an hour to inject and doesn't need general anesthesia or a hospital setting. You can do this in your living room. Plus, the aftercare instructions, Sandra said, were, quote, shockingly easy, end quote. The fact that aloe clay uses fat harvested from donated dead bodies, man. There you go. What? If you are crashing out, so am I. I didn't read this, but I read the headline, so I was like, I knew. I'm just gonna read that again. The fact that aloe clay uses fat harvested from donated dead bodies. Man, who's donating dead bodies, man? Who? I'm not, like my parents? My loved ones. Oh yeah, someone just rolls up like, hey, would you like to donate your loved one's dead body to aloe clay? This is wild. This is wild to me. Maybe I'm too old. I'm an unk. I'm uncool. I'm just too old. It's the world has passed me by. But wow, fam, no. Dead bodies? Dude, what is the metaphysical, the quantum physical, the implications. The implications. All right, let me focus. Or cadavers, as they're referred to in the scientific community, didn't really pose an issue. Of course it didn't, because, she said you get to a certain age and you just decide that you're going to do something for yourself at this point. Put dead body material in me, man. Quote, I was fine with that, end quote. She said a growing number of people in the U.S. appear to feel the same. Tiger Aesthetics, the company that manufactures aloe clay, said more than 2,000 patients have been injected with it since May 2025. It's a buzzy topic on Reddit's popular plastic surgery page as potential patients ask questions, seek reviews, and swap doctor recommendations. In 2026, it's clear that what once might have been classed as body modification, is now seen simply as body maintenance. I'm just maintaining my body by putting dead body fat into my body. It has never been easier or more mundane to drastically alter one's physical form. Rib remodeling, upper blepharoplasty, lower blepharoplasty, mid facelift, lower facelift, deep plane facelift. What is this? Deep plane? It just sounds like they shaving bones or something. I don't know. Listen, as science and surgical technique progress ad nauseum, so does our appetite for new curves, tighter skin, sharper jawlines. Aloe clay, one of the more inventive products in this category, is our latest reminder. But for every plastic surgery clinic calling the injectable, quote, the next generation, end quote, advancement, there's an equal number of headlines branding it zombie filler or corpse injections. I like that. I like zombie filler. Come on, fam. Come on. If there is a boundary line in the pursuit of the perfect look, are we finally butting up against it? What does it mean if a society widely embraces injecting cadaver fat in the service of beauty? Could aloe clay become as common as Botox? In the end, your opinion of aloe clay might depend on your opinion of death. Aloe clay was first released in the U.S. in 2024 to board-certified plastic surgeons with a track record of working with fat, and since January to a wider net of doctors, including, quote, mid-level providers, end quote, like physicians, assistants, nurse practitioners, and aesthetic nurses. Tiger Aesthetics said it trains nurse practitioners who are not permitted to inject into the breast on special injection techniques. Listen, man, look. There's a thing, with the physical and the spiritual, and I think at the end of the day, the annual revolution of the sun, however you look at it, and how it shines on the earth. There's one day that's the longest day of sun, the longest day of the year, and then on the opposite side of the year, there's one day that's the shortest day of the year, the least amount of sun. And that balances things out. You got one thing on one side and the opposite on the other side, and you get balance in the middle. So when it comes to spirituality or whatever you want to call it, man, versus physical, this right here is just, for me, it's just too far. It's absolutely too far. On that, I'm out of here. I hope you learn something, enjoy yourself, take care of yourself. Make sure you say 10 things that you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight and every night. It's very important. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow on Current Events. Peace, y'all.